From the Coyotes Curling Club in Tempe, Arizona, this is Sean Murray. I'm bringing you coverage of our 5 p.m. draw of the Ed Werenich Golden Wrench Classic. And our matchup today features 2 Canadian teams. We've got Manitoba's Jordan McDonald versus Alberta's Cole Adams. Cole Adams playing the Yellowstones, throwing first. This is their lead, Tyson Taves. Like they want to get into it early. They throw up the center line guard. Now, first stone for the Jordan McDonald lead, Cameron Olafson. This Jordan McDonald team has had a really solid season. They currently sit 20th on the World Curling Tour points list. Their game record so far this year is 47 wins, 13 losses, but they are 0-2 at this event so far. So they're looking to get the ball rolling and try to find their way into the playoffs here. Hard to get around this guard, and it looks like it's a little bit light. They do just get by, but it's going to end up as another guard. So now with that overlap out front, no run back possibility, so Tyson Taves' second shot of this first end, he's going to have 2 guards to try and get around. This Cole Adams team has had a good wrench so far. They're 2-0. They currently sit at 61st on the tour points list at 23 wins and 18 losses. These 2 teams actually met in the semifinals of the U25 Next Gen Classic. And that game was in the semifinals, and it was Team Jordan McDonald prevailing in that one, and they actually went on to win that event. Come around is mostly buried, but only stops in just about a quarter of the top 8 foot. Not a bad spot. So we'll see how Team McDonald wants to approach this with the hammer. Not a fantastic opening setup for the team with the hammer. The middle's a little clogged, but they can't really do a whole lot about it yet until the 5 rock free guard zone is expired, and we're only on rock number 4. This is Cameron Olafson's second shot, looking to play the freeze. Looking pretty good. Really finishing hard. And that one also checks up short of the rings. A couple of early mistakes there. Team McDonald. Definitely wanted both of those in the ring, certainly not short. That only helps the team without the hammer, and that's Team Adams. So this is our first look at the second for Team Adams. This is Jeremy Hardy playing the out-turn draw. Really good. It's right by, right on the tee line, fully buried. Now the free guard zone out of the way. Team McDonald definitely gonna get into cleanup mode here. This end has not set up the way they want at all. We'll try to get some action on those guards. In a perfect world, they hit the high yellow into the red behind it, make contact with the yellow behind it, and if they really hit it just right, they could actually get both yellows in the house moving here. But the main objective is just to open it up a bit. Hit the first one a little bit thick. Moves the top yellow Adams stone around, but it's a little better, but still not great. Definitely wanted to get some more action than they did. Talk through their options. There is a hit and roll available on that yellow stone on the right as we're looking at it. So preference being to take that option away from Team McDonald. Just going to throw one in the top 12 foot. This early in the end, that's a decent call. You could come around the center if you really wanted to, but that hit and roll is always going to be there. So I'm going to leave the center for later. This one looks to be well short of where they wanted it. But it does stop in time. I believe it mostly takes away that hit and roll. I think Team McDonald can probably still see most of that stone. But it's going to be really tough to make any kind of roll off of that. Might not be a bad idea still to just clear the middle. This is still pretty messy setup for them. They do have the hammer and they want to make a little bit more room for them to work. So it looks like they're just going to play the double peel on these two that are closest to the rings. Yellow, red, scatter both of them, lose the shooter. Be looking a lot better if this is successfully made. Team McDonald's second is Elias Humaniki. Only gets one and actually drives it between the two stones in the house. A little bit of bad luck on that one. That's still better than it was. They do have access to that stone that's on the side of the button. They could come down and freeze to it if they wanted to, and Adams, recognizing that, wants to get there first. One thing you got to think about at most levels of curling, but especially at this level of curling, is a little word we use called tolerance. Tolerance basically refers to the range of where the stone can end up that is good versus not good. And in this case, this is an example of tolerance being short, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's still in the way for Team McDonald and causing problems for them. Being on the wrong side of tolerance in that case would be being heavy, bouncing off of that stone in the house, making a pocket, and that would not be helpful. So tolerance in that case definitely short. So some early issues here for Team McDonald, and their third. This is Dallas Burgess. And once again, try to clean up the middle a little bit. Gets the two moving. Doesn't remove the yellow Adams shot. So Adams currently sitting 3. But it's still more open than it was. So Team McDonald will have options if they can get a chance to. the second shot for Team Adams, third Derek Boyer. Very similar shot to his first one. Looking to have this just in the rings, maybe a little buried under that red guard, but checks up a little short. Well, gets about maybe half in the rings. Good shot. Team McDonald taking a look at whether or not there may be some kind of a double or possible triple here. Looking at if he can hit about half, maybe just a little more than half of that top 12 biter that was just placed there. That stone will be driven over towards the second shot yellow on the right, and the shooter may roll over and catch the third shot yellow on the left and sit there for second. That'd be one heck of a shot. See if Dallas Burgess can pull it off. Looks like it's over curling. Oh, again through the hole. It's horrible luck. Shot like that, you end up caught in between. I mean, in between where you want to hit it and where it would be better. If they'd have hit more of that, they could have potentially caught the shot rock and only sat two. But drive it through the hole and don't stay in the house. Just really bad luck on that. So now the first stone of this first end for skip Cole Adams, looking to keep the pressure on. Try to put that stone more or less back where it was. You might err on a little bit higher to not try and leave that same kind of shot. Or if the weight's good and it's going to be top 8, like we were saying, try and get it a little more buried. At this point, I would expect that Skip Jordan McDonald probably thinking, I'm going to just be having to draw the button for 1 here. 2 is probably not happening. So Cole Adams showing good touch early. Puts that one in the top 4 foot. Maybe a quarter buried. You could probably hit enough of this to catch the shot rock. You don't need to necessarily remove it, but just get it out of the 4 foot, open up some space just to score. And give yourself a little bit more room than you have right now. With this broom, looks like they're probably throwing somewhere from a heavy board weight to maybe control weight. Just hit what they can see. Trying to make this curl. I don't know they're going to hit this shot rock. Oh, they do a little bit. And that's just about the best you could do. Well done. Now sitting 1. Team McDonald looking a lot better than it was. Gonna be facing a pressure shot on his last. Likely gonna be looking at 4 yellow Team Adams counters. But at least the middle is essentially open. So should have a relatively open shot to score their 1. Cole Adams' final stone of this first end. Just looking for the hit. Nose hit would be pretty good. I think you'd still see Jordan McDonald draw in that case because a nose hit back might not necessarily get them shot. Moving a little bit. Rolls right to the top of the button, so makes it a pretty simple call for Jordan McDonald with his hammer shot. Just right on the nose. Stay in the 4-foot and score the 1 after being in trouble for most of this end. So last shot, first end, Jordan McDonald just looking for the nose hit to score 1. Sweeping to make this curl, but it looks like it's all right. Comes up nicely, and that's a score of 1. Team McDonald takes the lead. Cole Adams will have the hammer in the second end. I've been joined in the broadcast booth here by none other than Eric Kowal.
Thank you, Sean. Yep, doing my best to be fashionably on time.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, a little unforeseen traffic this evening with a closed ramp that was just unaware.
Oh, well, it's Phoenix. Traffic and construction are always things for sure.
But happy to be in here with you for sure. Looking forward to this matchup. Talked to the guys yesterday a little bit. They were looking forward to it as well, so it should be a good one.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was just talking about how these two teams actually met earlier this year in the semifinals of the U25 Next Gen Classic. That was a Team McDonald win, and McDonald went on to win that whole event actually. So a little bit of history with these teams. Team McDonald's had a really good season. I mentioned earlier they're at 47 wins, 13 losses this year and 20th on the tour points list. They won the Next Gen Classic champ. They won the MCT Curling Cup. Lost the final of the Saville Shootout to Mike McEwen. Lost the semi of the PointsBet Invitational to Brad Gushu. And the semi of the Red Deer Classic to Team Epping, who is also here. And then at the Duluth Cash Spiel just before Christmas, lost the final also to Team Epping. So they've had a really solid year.
Yeah, a lot of teams would like to be in that position, right?
Absolutely.
Anytime you're qualifying on tour, you're doing something right.
Absolutely. There's no question about it. So with that tight center guard set up by Team McDonald lead Cameron Olofsson. Tyson Taves looking to set up the corner guard.
Standing right on the namesake Eddie there, wanting to finish.
Absolutely. I'll admit multiple times throughout the year when I'm playing league here, if we're placing a stone in that area, I'll say right on Eddie right here.
It's our equivalent to the Tim Hortons coffee cup.
Exactly. There you go. There you go. So center guard, corner guard. Team McDonald looking for the come around. Both teams looking to stay offensive here. Should see some rocks in play this end. Coming in might be a touch heavy. Settles just back 4 foot. Still pretty good. Force action to the center. You could ignore that. Or that just go into the corner. Looks like that's the call. this end plays out, because if that stone is in front of the tee line, you might see Team Adams have to play some kind of a freeze on it or something, but behind the tee line, it's not really as much of a concern for them. Looking really good on this. It's just a matter of getting it buried. Shy tee, probably a quarter or so buried. Didn't really finish a whole lot past the guard. Probably accessible for Team McDonald if they like.
Yeah, and I think if they make this shot, all of a sudden you see Adams probably start to bail at this point already, right? Like, it's just, that's today's game.
Yes. Yeah, especially if this is made as perfectly as they want, and what they want to do is hit this and roll right under that center guard. Team Adams is going to have to play some kind of a run back, clearing shot just to open up the middle. Pretty good. Not a whole lot of weight thrown at this. Does make the hit, but catches it much thinner than they were hoping for. So eliminates the Adams stone, but rolls and catches their own, pushes it back 12, but still sitting 2. Adams second. Jeremy Hardy looking to play a quiet hit on this. Maybe just trying to sit right there. Catch it thin enough, you could roll, but you certainly don't want to roll out.
Yeah, and you're going to roll way too deep if you do get any, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Although he made the double.
Well, yeah. Where's the doubles balloon?
Yeah.
So a little bit of a bonus. Not really sure they were concerned about making the double, but it's a nice, decent result.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely weren't looking to do it, but you're not going to turn it down.
No, certainly not. Certainly not. No, nothing else in the rings.
Basically, it was McDonald a free draw again to try and use that center guard, right? Top 4, top button, and
yep.
You know,
and then if it is placed in that top 4, top button area, we'll see how see if Cole Adams tries to play a run back of some kind and open up the middle, or if they try to start playing around the middle. Depends on how hard they want to go for 2.
That's pretty darn good.
That is really good. So I've just been informed here in the booth that the lineup for Team Adams underwent a minor shift a few weeks ago. Apparently, Derek Boyer and Jeremy Hardy switched positions, so now it's Derek playing second and Jeremy playing third. I say thank you to Mick Pendergast for that correction. All I have to go by is what's on Curling Zone. Really nice run back there. And that would have been Jeremy. So nice shot, Jeremy. Because it did leave that guard pretty close to the center line. Team McDonald just going to keep on drawing around this. Looking to force a score of 1 out of Team Adams themselves so they can try and get the hammer back. So mostly buried, but a ways behind the tee line. Barely hung onto the back edge of the 4-foot. See if Team Adams maybe shifts gears, maybe just try to come around that instead of trying to make use of their corner guard.
That's the third or fourth draw now on this end we've seen. I wonder if the speed's picking up and it's catching them a little off guard.
Maybe a little bit. I know one characteristic that you and I, and certainly a lot of players here, see a lot being members of this club is that coming towards the home end, towards the glass, tends to be half a second to a full second faster than going away.
Yes,
and that's been very consistent.
There's multiple theories about it. One being just the warm room, drawing the stones faster. Two being they're all thirsty because this is the end that the bar's on.
Either one would sound valid to me. But given that this is the third's last in this end, I think this is the right play. At a certain point in the end, you kind of have to take what you're given, and that guard up there can serve them just as well.
That is really good.
That's about as good as it gets. Just deep enough to be shot and fully buried.
Yeah, I don't know that you could have walked down there and placed one by hand any better.
Not really. Not really. Team McDonald looking to play the corner freeze. Maybe give themselves a play on that stone later. But in worst case, at least shrink the scoring area. This is Dallas Burgess's final stone of this end. Bounce off this. Ooh, bounces a little bit. Ooh. That just rolled open. I was talking last end about tolerance. And tolerance on a shot like that, a little short would be okay. I mean, you don't want to be way short. But, top 12, top 8 would still be decent. That bounced enough. They may see enough to be able to hit that and maybe even make a double. And not that they need to make the double, but in front of that yellow stone, rather than bouncing off, would have been a little bit better.
Well, and even if they don't make the double, if they just catch that back one and just open the scoring zone up more.
Yes.
Right? Yep. It's essentially as good as making the double.
Exactly. Yep. And the only thing you don't want to do if you play this is jam on that back. You don't want to stuff it right there. So you got to be a little careful playing this.
If you were to play soft weight back line, do you think you could get across nose and roll under your own guard and still push them back to like back 8?
I think that's definitely there. It looks like they can see pretty much all of it. So if you can get a little bit of finish past that guard, you definitely could, maybe roll to half buried. You can throw heavy enough to get that out of the 4-foot at least. You probably throw, like I said, back line. You don't necessarily need to kill it. They've opted to throw a little more weight. I'm going to say it's like a solid board, perhaps. Good. Just up to the nose. Catch off the back one, but not a bad result.
Oh, real good.
Sitting first and third.
No hesitation here. Oh, now a little hesitation.
Yeah, it's a. I mean, it's there, but you got to think about where the top one goes. The shot stone goes for fun. If you throw this hard enough, even if you hit that the second yellow fairly thick, you can probably spin this top one out over the top of your own back ones. This will definitely be moving. So trying not to bounce off their own red in the back, but it'll be spinning pretty good if it does, so it'll probably still leave. So you want to hit about probably just about 2/3 of this will be close, like a thin 2/3, I might say. So Jordan McDonald's first of this second end. Nice little hack waiter here. It's pretty thin. That stuff up there. Ooh, boy.
Oof, yeah, especially now he's pretty close to frozen on back there.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate result there. Hit that much thinner than he wanted. Honestly, a little bit of bad luck. He couldn't dream that you could throw it that hard and spin it almost frozen on the back one. That's just hard luck. Now Team Adams bury one underneath that near center guard there. Can sit two. And you might see, at that point, you might see McDonald just throw that same kind of weight. Clear this yellow out of there that he just hit that's sitting back there and concede the deuce, because anything else could bring three into play. Gets the job done pretty nicely. Cole Adams showing some pretty good touch on his draws early in this game. A good one last end, a good one here. So, a little bit of heat here for Team McDonald on his last. He was talking about whether to just throw a missile, catch this yellow as thin as possible, half or less, send it out the side door, lose the red, and just leave Adams the draw for two. You could potentially make an argument for just trying to throw like a board weight and just hit it right on the nose, but that's very, very dangerous.
Like you said earlier, that just brings three into play at that point,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
You get the wrong bounce either side, and
yep, and suddenly it's three, and you can't really afford that. So this is the smarter play. This is certainly no picnic. This has got to have a lot of weight, and you got to hit this in the right spot. I mean, half or less, and it should leave fairly simply, but accuracy is definitely. He's not throwing a lot of weight. Maybe he is trying to nose it.
going hard for line.
Yeah, he's trying to nose it. This might be taking off on him.
We may have a field goal. Oh, okay. Well,
decently successful shot. It makes the two a little bit more complicated for Cole Adams. You could just, really the two ways you make it is either you just pick it or you try and slam it right on the nose and you lose the red and the yellow directly behind it at the same time.
I think that's the call, right? Just take any curl out of the equation.
Yeah, it's all about what you feel comfortable throwing. You know, this red doesn't have to go very far, so if you're just playing the nose hit, you don't have to throw a missile at it at all. That's the simpler shot for sure. It's pretty tough to hit that red thin enough to miss the yellow directly behind it. So hammer in second and Cole Adams. Chance for two. Looking for the nose hit. pick. Makes the hit and sticks around. And that'll be 2 points. Cole Adams takes a 2-1 lead over Jordan McDonald, and McDonald will have the hammer going into the third end. See if we can get an eye on some of the other scores in this draw. Not seeing any score updates just yet from the other games. We'll see what's going on. Our booth here at Coyotes Curling Club is completely segregated from the ice. I can't see anything but an office. So I'm not sure what's going on out there. First home, Cole Adams was a center guard. Looks like it may have just finished off the center line. Hard to be certain. So certain if the no-tick rule is in effect in this event. I imagine it probably is. In any case, just the come around from Cameron Olofsson. Drops that just behind the button. A little bit on the deep side. So wasting no time. Tyson Taves is going to look to follow that down and freeze right in front of it. Line looks really good. It has the weight. Nicely played. Cameron Olofsson's second shot of this third end, looking to play a little freeze on this, cross it a bit, basically get buried under the guard. Just a little tap, and that works too. Moving that around is not such a bad result. Scores from the other matches in this draw. Oh, I'm going to butcher this name. Yasmin Gibbo. You think I'm close? I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. Yasmin Gibbo leads Elliot Mansell 2-0. There's another one I'm going to butcher. Sam Muibrick. Oh, Lord. And Jordan Peters are tied 2-2. And, Japan's Shinya Abe and Chase Sennett are even at 1 apiece. I'm always very careful to go around to the teams in any game I'm commentating and ask them how to pronounce names that I'm not certain of, and they did that for this game, and I'm very thankful of it. because I would never have figured that Cole Adams' lead pronounces his last name as Taves. It's spelled Toews.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad he was there.
I can tell you're not a Blackhawks fan.
I am not a Blackhawks fan.
Yeah.
I'm not a hockey person at all.
Fair. Jonathan Taves was a very successful player in the last decade or so for the Blackhawks with a couple of cups.
Okay.
Yep.
And it was spelled the same. I
Yep.
guess. Okay. But for other games that are not on the stream, I don't have the time to do that. So I apologize if I butcher anyone's name. I certainly try. And this is Sean Murray with Eric Kowal in the broadcast booth of Coyotes Curling Club in Tempe, Arizona. This is the Ed Werenich Golden Wrench Classic. Draw number, I don't know what draw number it is. It's the 5 p.m. draw on Friday. This is Jordan McDonald versus Cole Adams. Cole Adams has a 2-1 lead. Quite a few rocks in the house to start this end.
Yeah, we're getting to that point in the round robin. We have one more draw this evening, and then one more pool play draw tomorrow morning. So water's kind of finding its own level, and we should have a playoff picture starting to develop.
Yeah. I was saying earlier with Jordan McDonald being 0-2 so far, they definitely want to get into the win column to have any hope of playoffs. Cole Adams at 2-0 on the other side, just want to keep the momentum going.
In talking with the players, what are some of the hot spots you've been hearing? Because that's always one of the things I like to talk about is where, they go into Scottsdale, they go into Tempe, they play in golf.
I admit I have not heard all that much. I haven't really had a chance to be here at the club until really today. I feel like the wrench last year was warmer outside than it is right now.
Yeah.
I mean, even for Arizona, it's been a little chilly the last week or so. It's barely getting into like the low 60s Fahrenheit.
I know. Feel bad for us, folks.
Oh yeah, it's so sad, right? Most of the rest of the country's freezing, and we have to deal with 62 degrees and sunshine. Poor us.
Although I will say this, not to get on too far of a tangent, I spent last night just south of Tucson on the Arizona-Mexican border. I went quail hunting this morning, but it got down to 19 degrees last night where I was at.
Oof.
Which you just don't think about in Arizona.
No, certainly not the southern half of Arizona.
Yeah, but it's weird because as you go south, your elevation increases. So we were at about 5,000 feet or so.
Okay.
Yeah, which has an impact.
Well, that's why there are parts of Tucson where it will snow in the winter.
Yep. Yeah.
Not quite so much in Phoenix, though. So far this end, 7 rocks thrown, 7 rocks in play. Both teams kind of jostling for position. It's Team Jordan McDonald throwing the red stones that have the hammer. Team Cole Adams, yellow, they do not. There's potential if they can hit this yellow top 4 foot in just the right spot. They could get rid of both the reds that are in the side of the button, the 8 foot. You got to hit it on the broom side. Fairly thin because it's just got to redirect off of the shot stone onto the side one. You're probably only hitting maybe just a tick more than half to make this work the way they want. That's pretty much what they wanted. Sorry. Confused there. They definitely did not want to kill 2 of their own. Must have been trying to double the 2 yellows instead.
Yeah, I think they were trying to get it a little bit more right into the in between them, and in the
pocket.
Yeah, in the pocket, and it caught it, and it's unfortunate their stone also squirted up to be 3rd shot.
Yeah, there's no There's no clear on both of those yellows right now. 2 yellow shot stones for Adams.
Soon to be 3.
Soon to be 3, yes, definitely. This one's got some pace on it, though. It needs to slow down.
It's a good call to take it deep, though, because if now they can't come freeze on it and still be shot, they're going to be at best second if they're a little heavy themselves.
Yeah, I mean, if they come all the way down to it, they'll be shot, but they certainly don't want to do that. But being deep like that still does open the door for Team McDonald to at least make use of that guard. Recognizing this one's heavy, they're going to go, like we just said, right down to that back one. They do stop for shot rock, but if Team Adams can follow that and freeze themselves, the scoring area is going to be very, very small. Team McDonald very much would like to get to this end and take the lead back.
There was just something submitted in the chat that if teams are looking for something to do, they should go to Legends Showroom. And it's down in Gilbert, and it's an amazing little place. We've gone there a couple of times now. And they have like a Sinatra impersonator, an Elvis impersonator. Just kind of depends on the night of who's performing. Good food, good drinks, enjoyable atmosphere. So thank you, Jared, for the suggestion for sending teams to Legends Showcase.
Okay. And yeah, you've talked about that before. It's not the first time I've heard of it. So I've never been there myself. Can't speak to it, but sounds like a good time.
Yeah, for those of you in the Phoenix Valley that are aware, the lady that owns it used to own Singing Pandas, which is a Phoenix staple. It was a Chinese restaurant that also had like a cabaret, singing showgirls type thing. It was an interesting concept.
Sounds kind of interesting for sure. Perfectly placed draw there by Jeremy Hardy, right under that center guard, just in front of the button. Team McDonald waste no time. They're going to try and play a run back, try and clear that. They do not want to be forced to win this end, or worse, give up a steal. Nice shot.
And that's a beauty.
Can't really make that any better. And the nice thing now is that even if this draw is made again, now Team McDonald will be running their own stone. Still an outside chance of setting up too. They'll have to shoot well to make it happen, but the chance is there. Not sure it's there. Oh.
And that is an unforced error.
For sure, for sure. Because all of a sudden, well-placed draw or potentially hit and roll they're talking about. They have all the options.
I think I like the draw. If you play the hit and roll, and you roll on top of your own, it still gives yellow the opportunity to draw down on their last and cancel those both out.
Yeah, I think it's really all of what they're feeling.
Yeah.
I feel like in most cases like this where you're just trying to put one into scoring position, a draw is pretty much always going to be a simpler shot.
But they're the ones on the ice, and we're here in the broadcast room this season.
Exactly. That is, they really playing either shot. I don't know what they decided on. It looked like they were preferring the draw. Jordan McDonald's first of this third end. So he's playing the out-turn draw. Just gonna sit 2. Just want to be just nibbling the top of the button. Laying off like this is heavy. Behind the T line. Oh.
No, that checked up real nice.
That checked up pretty hard, it seems like. Really good shot. Now Cole Adams has to be a little bit careful here. Talking about maybe freezing down to that back one. And that's good if they can get right in front of it. That will shrink the scoring area to almost nothing. It'd be a really tough score too at that point. They probably have to play the draw on the other side. But if the line isn't just right, like if it only finishes not directly in front of that red, but sort of on the right as we're looking at it, I think you could nose hit it and potentially get 3. I think angle to the right, like where their broom head is right there, that's not a good spot to end up in. Because it can still be removed and that red will not go anywhere because of the yellow directly behind it. You could make an argument for just freezing right in front of the shot stone like that. That would cut down any chance of 3, but it would leave them a draw for 2.
This big shot definitely warrants the discussion.
Oh, definitely.
Right?
Definitely, yeah. 2.
And you got to make sure everybody's buying into it as well. And that's probably part of the talk.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah, the thing here is that the 2 is really not, you never want to give up 2, but 2 is not the worst outcome. Then you're just down one with hammer. 3 is a pretty bad outcome. So it looks like as much as they were motioning that, I think the call is to freeze on the back one. This is definitely...
and this all stemmed from the one draw earlier in the end just being probably, 3-4 feet heavy.
Yep, that's right. And that's why we have this stack of rocks behind the tee line.
The cause and effect.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Play down to this back one. They're going to want this to finish a little bit once it gets past the shot stone. Unless they're just trying
good enough for second.
It looks like they got caught in between.
Yeah.
Maybe they were saying the line's not good, we're not going to make the back. Either that or they were trying the freeze on the shot stone and it was just overthrown. No, I am pretty confident that you can play the double on those yellows, and that yellow is going to squirt right in between the reds. I don't think there's any worry about that touching anything. You hit that right on the nose. There would be nothing wrong with just drawing for 2 also. You are shot stone. I feel like you have to play this. I mean, even if you hit it a little bit on the wide side and just make the double and don't save the shooting, that's still 2. And I don't see this yellow that's currently second causing any harm whatsoever. It's never touching the shot stone. I think it's going to slide right in between the reds. Can't afford to do here is attempt on this and hit this on the inside. Because then it would only be a square one. Stone, third end, Jordan McDonald. Those hits should get him 3. It's a tight.
Oh,
that actually doubled hit.
Yeah, it did.
And tough to see. I feel like that's only 1.
Yeah.
That was
Uno.
Oh, see, now I feel bad. That's commentator's curse. What I just mentioned, you can't be tight. You can't hit on the inside. And what did he do?
Shame on you.
That's my fault. Yeah, I'll take the blame for that. It's all my fault.
Also, shame on you. Used to be a Cajun restaurant here in town.
A Cajun restaurant called Shame on You.
Well, it was pronounced Chez, like house.
Oh, okay.
And then Monu.
Monu.
Like,
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, I get it.
But yes, it was a good place. I think I'm hungry.
I think I agree. So yeah, we'll call that shot commentator's curse. I'll take the fall for it. My apologies. And it's going to go in the books as a score of 1 for Team McDonald, and that ties the game at 2 apiece. 4th end, Cole Adams gets the hammer back. Mistake on the center guard. Cole Adams lead Tyson Taves. Throwing the lefty in turn. Pretty much perfect. Olsen looking to follow up his guard with a freeze. Sweeping to make this curl. A little bit heavy. Going to bounce off. Just a little bit of an overthrow there. Playing the nose hit. Enough in the end, you don't need to be too cute about stuff. Hit and roll, and I think they got to go to save this in the rings. Hit, just rolls out. So now Team Adams with the hammer can place this really anywhere they want. Look to split the house. Put this one way over on the right side from our overhead view.
Trying to set up the old junior deuce.
Yep. Those are tougher to set up than people think.
Agreed.
Because you have to make basically six perfect hits and sticks in a row, and not always the simplest thing to do. Nicely placed. Stops about a foot or so shy of the tee line. Team McDonald's going to be looking to try and roll back to the center at some point. Try and cluster things a little bit more. Give themselves some options. Hoping to eventually maybe set up a double on yellow. Good shot.
Yeah, real good.
That's just what the doctor ordered to make their lives a little easier. That's completely buried. Just call that him second. Derek Boyer. Play the raise. Curl. Uh-oh. You hate to take your own out. Oh dear. Oops.
I wonder if you could have played that with softer weight.
Yeah. That's. I mean, well, hindsight being 20/20, of course, right? You look at it and said, "Oh, I should have thrown that lighter." But yeah, a shot like that. You know, I know you want to move that red stone, but if you just kind of bump yours around, maybe sit second and third.
Maybe that's just it. We talked about it, 2 ends ago. You don't have to remove a stone.
Yes.
To have it, ineffective.
Exactly. To have it, basically, that's not going on the scoreboard.
Yeah. And if you throw something a little softer, you bump it back to back 8, back 12.
Yeah.
And then both your stones are, one's on the tee line and the other's in front, and now you've got a catcher in the back potentially.
Yeah. Or you could have maybe played that shot instead of a raise or a takeout of any sort. Maybe just played as a straight split.
Yeah.
Just get them to separate sides of the house.
Yeah.
And then you've always got to thread a 2.
Yeah.
But now with that mistake, now Team McDonald in full control of this end at the moment. Team Adams is going to be scrambling just to score. Or if they can get out of this with a blank, they would certainly like that too at this point. So here's Jeremy Hardy going to look to make some noise on these reds. It is lined up enough that if you hit this just right, you could potentially scatter all of them. This line's just going to be a straight peel. Donald completely content to just guard this situation. This is a good scenario for them to force one, potentially steal. Either one would serve them well. Placing these guards, you want to try and keep them as high as is reasonable to make these runbacks difficult, because the higher the guard, the tougher the runback. Teams at this level are pretty good at these kinds of shots, so you just got to make them as tough as you can. Really here, you're just trying to catch the top one. Really hard to get all 3 moving. I mean, it's a bonus if you do, but you're just trying to get rid of the guard, try and lose that top one that was just thrown. Oh! They just shave it over to the side. Not enough to get it out of the rings, but that's decent result, but that's going to make a blank. No, not really a thing at this point. It's a tiny detail, but it's the little things. The other slight problem that could come into play is where that yellow rolled. That's kind of in the way of the draw on the in-turn side. So it could complicate a potential hammer shot. We'll have to see how it plays out. So Jordan McDonald's first in the 4th end. Just looking to play a guard. Touch strong. This is going to end up in the range and over curls a bit. So just a few feet heavy. Curls a little extra, runs a little deeper. So now, Team Adams recognizing it'll be pretty tough to blank this end. Do you shift gears? Try and take a run at 2 here. That one slipping into the rings does give you that option. You can try to hit and roll off that top, maybe make it double. It's a tough shot. Did also mention maybe just trying to freeze on the shot stone. Get a little bit inside of it. Set up 2 that way.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? This end, just how it's changed over the last couple of shots. And you go back to early in, we're talking about a junior deuce, and now it's
Now it might not be a deuce at all.
Yeah. And it goes back to what you said. Easier said than done.
Right. That's right. I mean, there is no one, there are curlers who have shot 100% games before, but there's not that many of them. So even the top players in the world don't make everything. So you basically just, take the highest percentage shots you can, and and you also got to play what you're given. So it looks like they've decided to play the hit and roll off this top one. Hopefully try and make the double, but I think the main point here is just to establish second shot under that guard. They don't get under the guard. But what it did accomplish is they sat second, and they got that stone out of the 4-foot. So now being second shot, you're probably going to see Team McDonald decide that they have to hit this. So a hit will guarantee the force, but even if successful, the scoring area is much, much more accessible now. So not exactly what they wanted, but still a good outcome. It'll make it easier for Team Adams to score a point this end. Jordan McDonald's final shot of the fourth end. Really just looking to cleanly remove this yellow stone belonging to Team Adams. Ideally, you stay right there and just have something else in the way for the draw that you know is coming. And well done. Also bites the top of the ring, so Cole Adams' final draw is going to be against 3. Just needs to be full 8 foot for a single point and to retake the lead. Just looking for full 8 here to score 1. A little close to that center, but no worries. Adams gets full 4 foot, scores 1, and they now have a 3-2 lead at the halfway mark of this game. Team McDonald looking to take advantage with the hammer, which they have yet to do this game. They'll get a chance here in the 5th end. Team Adams lead Tyson Taves. Going to set up a center guard. They would really like to force McDonald to 1 this end. In that situation, tied with the Hammer in the 6th end of an 8th end game. Winning percentage is pretty good in that scenario. I don't have the stats right in front of me, but I imagine that's probably at least a 2 out of 3 win scenario at the tour level. Donald lead, Cameron Olofsson looking to make the come around. Just gets to just barely the top 8 foot. It's not the first time we've seen lead stones come up a little bit short for Team McDonald. Wondering if he's maybe having to deal with a slow rock or two. Rocks do have individual characteristics. Even within a set, you can have 1 or 2 that are slower than the others, or faster than the others, or they curl more, or they curl less. You know, that's all part of the game, is identifying rock behaviors. And unfortunately, the leads are usually the ones that have to deal with the most mismatched or worst quality rocks in a set, because you want your back end throws, your third and your skip, to be throwing consistent rocks and not have to worry about its behavior at all. Tyson Taves' second shot was just a tap back. Dude just managed to sit shot there, but leaves that red McDonald stone in the back 12 foot. It's going to be more of a nuisance than anything sitting back there. Hard to get by. Now they got to get by the stone top of the rings. Just chaps off a little bit. Settles in for shot stone. Again, kind of checked up a little bit. Looks like at the moment we've got 65 viewers watching the stream. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Glad to be with you on this Friday evening. Sean Murray here. Ed Werenich Golden Wrench Classic from the Coyotes Curling Club in Tempe, Arizona. Quick shout out to Matt Carlson for watching. Good to see you watching, Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Looks like Team Adams was trying to play a raise on their own. It's going to end up hitting the guard. And we'll just push that in the rings. A little bit of a messy setup at the moment. Team McDonald sitting 1 with the hammer. Also sitting 3rd in the back 12 there. It's tough to imagine a stone way back there going on the scoreboard, but it's not impossible. As long as it's in the rings, it could potentially go on the scoreboard. Team McDonald, Elias Humaniki, being asked to play a freeze on that yellow. Taps off a little bit, but pretty well done. That red stone is going nowhere, and neither is the back ones. And now, Team Adams has to be a little careful here. They don't have the hammer. Any play on that red stone just placed there is going to endanger their only stone in the rings at the moment. This is not a fantastic setup for Team Adams at all. Not having the hammer and one lonely yellow stone in the rings at the moment. I mean, I guess there's that top 12 biter, but that one's not really consequential. So they need to talk this out a little bit and figure out how best to approach this, because this is early trouble. We're still in second stones, but this is not shaped up the way they want it so far.
Yeah, for those of you at home, you don't see the hamster on my wheel turning as fast as it is right now. Like, I'm trying to see what could potentially be happening.
Yeah, I'm sure with 3 reds in the house, Adams would love to hit something, but it's really tough to do that because any play on the only red stone that he really could hit could remove his own. I mean, you could play an out-turn come around and come around everything on the right side, but that's an aggressive play with only a 1-point lead, and you're leaving all these red opponent rocks in the ring, so it's a little dangerous.
I like to take a look here at running this yellow. I don't know that it's the right call, but I like at least having the discussion and taking the look.
Yeah, I think.
Again, I don't know what the right decision is, right? But I think this is as good as anything. You're running your own stone.
Yeah, well, and I mean, the right decision is, you may not know if it's the right decision until the end is over.
Yeah.
For now, it's the best that they can come up with because there really are no good options right now. But they're clearly not comfortable playing that draw around everything and leaving all these enemy rocks around, and I can't say it.
Which is fair.
That's absolutely fair.
Yeah. You're in a tight game.
Yep.
And that's, I think, pretty well executed.
It's hard to do better than that. It really is. They stayed over there for 4th. They're still shot stone. The only concern now is that.
But the shooter also rolled off the center line more, right? So now you've got a little more room to do whatever happens next.
Well, the only concern there is that I feel like that may benefit the team with the hammer a little bit more, and that's Team McDonald and the Red Stones. They could if they wanted to go ahead and hit this Adams shot stone and sit 3, all spread out.
It looks like that's what they're doing. Hit that and probably roll over.
Probably roll over towards the other yellow that's on the side there. I think that's probably the best that they've got. But I feel like that last shot was a little bit of a bail shot for Adams, recognizing, okay, we're in a little bit of trouble here. Let's try and minimize the damage, and at worst, give up a score of 2. He's down 1 with playing the 6th is still a decent position. Nice. Yuki's second shot this end is a really nicely hit and roll. Team McDonald now sitting 3 with the hammer. No stone better than full 12. All spread out.
So I apologize. Last end and a half. I haven't really been paying attention, and there's a reason why, and I'm going to share it because it's good. Just got it. My parents are on vacation. They're in their 70s. My dad just sent me a text a little bit ago that said, Just checked into and there was an emoji of a building with an H on it.
Isn't that hospital or hotel?
It is hotel in
hope
my
it's
dad's
hotel.
book.
Okay.
That was the clarification.
Okay.
Because I instantly went to hospital as well.
Yeah, I think
so I'm
that's-
there like, what's going on?
Right.
Everything okay? Sending a couple messages back, not hearing back. No, that's hotel.
Yeah. Well, for the emoji building with an H is definitely hospital. I think.
Yes.
So, well, good to hear that they are having a good time.
Yeah.
And are in a hotel and not a hospital.
And my sister just sent back about a dozen emojis, which I'm not even going to try to interpret.
Dear. Yeah, let's not go there. So it was Jeremy Hardy's first stone of this, and looks like he tried the long center double, but only got the top one. Stayed right there, but Team McDonald still sitting 2 with the hammer. Dallas Burgess' first shot. His fifth end. They're throwing some big weight, going to try and hit this center one. I think they're going to try and hit it on the broom side and roll to the left and actually kind of rattle off the backside of the other one and spin into the rings. Just
Bingo.
like that.
Excellent call, Sean. Made it a little too good.
I think they actually wanted to hit a little bit more of that first one, so it didn't squeeze so far back, but still really good shot.
Yeah.
Now this is nothing but trouble for Team Adams. No hammer, not really much in the way of guards. I mean, we do have one guard out there, but Team McDonald sitting 3 all spread throughout the house. This is now just about damage control. If they can get away with only giving up 2 this end, they're going to be pretty happy. For now, Jeremy Hardy's just going to try and play a hit and roll. Try to roll in front of that red stone that's back 12 that's been sitting there all end. Once again, commentators curse. I said it's rare for one of those to go on the scoreboard. It just might. Make the hit. Rolls a little too far, but stays shot stone. But staying around is key because Team McDonald is always hitting this. And if they roll, it's going to be tough to not leave some kind of double no matter where this goes. To hit this on the center line side, try to roll about to where the end in curling and Coyote's curling club is back there. Just about knows it, so it's going to leave a nose double instead. They were talking about maybe trying to make the double and also roll under that corner, but oof, boy, I'm not sure I like trying to be that fancy with it.
Yeah, I think the roll is just nice, right? That's the...
It's a bonus if it happens, but if you try too hard for it and you end up just
stuffing it or something.
Well, you stuff it, you only get rid of 1, you roll out.
Yep.
It's a guaranteed 3. I think just take your medicine and make the double. It's probably it might be 2 this end, but it could be worse. Don't make it worse. Take what you're given.
Well, look at that.
Wow. Is that ever a sneaky result?
You get shot. That port is awfully tiny. I don't know that it's there.
I don't think there's any port there, but
I mean, you could throw the in-turn draw off the center line, maybe try and tap it back a little.
I don't know that you.
But I don't know that it's there either.
I don't think it's worth it. I would think you just draw under the guard and just say forget that back one. I wonder if it's possible. I
like that they're talking about this, kind of playing off their own and getting a little bit of a split there.
Well, if you hit this right, the way this is staggered, because it's on so little of that yellow, if Jordan can hit this just right, like say about 2/3 of it, maybe just a tick more, you could actually roll both reds under the corner.
Yep.
That would really be something to pull off, really something to see. Yeah, I feel like 2/3 is really close to actually rolling both of these under that corner guard. McDonald opting to shy away from the fancy. Not a bad decision at all. Gonna keep it simple. Just gonna play the in-turn, come around on that corner guard, set up second shot. There is a lot that could go wrong if you tried that hit and double roll. You could end up losing your chance for a deuce if you don't hit it correctly. So, nothing wrong with this at all. Sweepers are laying off this like it's heavy. Now they seem to like it. Pretty good spot. 90% buried just in front of the tee line. Motioning initially just to follow that down and kind of corner freeze to it, but I think they're trying to look at whether there's some kind of angle over this arrangement to the right. Not really sure you're going to get a whole lot of benefit from doing that. It feels like that red is just going to, the red that's currently third would just stuff on the shot rock and you just give it a draw for two anyways. I really don't think that's going anywhere. They're looking at it though. Team chat about it. Cole really seems to like coming after this these two on the right and maybe throwing a bomb and trying to get rid of both reds. His third's trying to talk him out of it. Like I'm not sure. Jeremy has motioned no less than 3 or 4 times
Just
for just
tapping,
the freeze.
Yep. Just
So
tap the broom.
They're
tap the broom.
not on the same page at the moment. I don't. Just the way this is set up. I mean, there is a little bit of separation between the yellow red on the right here.
5th end. Up 1.
Well, yeah, I think he's talking about trying to maybe
Yeah.
get a force here.
Yep.
A force would be big.
Yeah,
It really would be. And I guess the other motivator behind this is that even if you make corner freeze on shot stone, you're going to be perhaps a third in the fourth for that best. What do you really... I mean, you're going to have to hope that Jordan McDonald missed the 4-foot completely. So maybe Cole feels that this is just... a 2 is not the end of the world, and maybe he can actually get a force out of this.
The good news is we're going to find out in the next couple of stones.
We are. We're going to find out on the next stone, actually. Whether this is even there. I'm curious to see if this red that he's hitting is going to go anywhere. I feel like the way it's wired, it's just going to stuff right on the shot rock. Especially if he hits it a little on the inside. Yeah, see, I don't think that was going anywhere. I really don't. It could be he was trying to hit it thinner than that so it didn't catch so much of the yellow behind it.
And now it's just a draw to the 8-foot.
Just a draw.
Not even a 4-foot like
Yep.
it would have been otherwise with that freeze call.
Right. Yeah, now it's just touch 8-foot for 2. But truthfully, the way this end shaped up early on, with Donald sitting 3 all spread out across the rings early on, I think Adams holding them to 2 is really not a bad outcome at all. Everyone getting involved in the sweeping party, but there's no problem here. Gets to the top 4-foot, and that's the first deuce scored by Team Jordan McDonald in this game. And they retake the lead, now 4-3. Going into the 6th end, Cole Adams is going to be down 1 with the hammer. Currently up to 77 viewers in with us. Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate you spending a part of your Friday evening with us. This is Sean Murray with Eric Kowal. This is the Ed Werenich Golden Wrench Classic from the Coyotes Curling Club in Tempe, Arizona. We've got Jordan McDonald throwing red stones, Cole Adams throwing yellow stones. Jordan McDonald with a 4-3 lead. Adams with hammer, and this is the first stone of the 6th end, delivered by Cameron Olofsson. Pretty interesting game so far, Eric.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's been enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, some interesting setups, some interesting decisions. But good game to watch, good game to talk over. And interested to see how this one finishes up.
And a couple of up-and-comers.
Yeah. We've already talked a little bit about the seasons these teams have had. Team McDonald, throwing the red, is at 20th spot on the World Curling Tour points list. They had a really good season at 47 wins and 13 losses. They've won a couple of events. They won the U25 Next Gen Classic. They also won the MCT Curling Cup. And then Team Cole Adams, currently 61st on the points list. On 23 wins and 18 losses. They've had a couple of semifinal losses this year, but haven't had quite the results on tour. They also haven't played as many games as Team McDonald this year. But this event so far, Cole Adams is 2-0 and looking to solidify playoff position, while Jordan McDonald is 0-2. They're looking to move into playoff position. So first stone there from Cole Adams' lead. Tyler Taves was an overthrow that slipped into the rings. And that's definitely a mistake. Hit and roll made, and Cole Adams gonna stick to trying to set up that corner guard. They definitely want to get to this end. Just gonna have an extra stone to deal with in the rings. So no mistake on the corner guard that time. McDonald with 2 in the rings. Just, I imagine just set up a center guard.
This is, for those of you watching, this is probably one of the big differences between a tour event like this and the potential, like your club play at home. Club play at home, I would suggest put that third one just in the rings as well. Now they've got to deal with 3 stones.
Yep.
But the way these guys can make doubles and rolls and hits and throw the up weight, I think in this scenario the guard is 100% the right call.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. At the club level, you don't really, for the most part, you don't have to worry about a team, say, playing a run back on that guard, because that kind of shot just isn't in the wheelhouse for the majority of club curlers. So a little bit of a miscue on that one there. Drove the guard in, stuffed it, and left McDonald with 2 in the forefoot, and kind of left him partially guarded too. So some early trouble this end for Team Adams.
For those of you that caught that little bit of chatter, thank you for the free round at least.
Absolutely. Well, when sitting in the commentating booth, never turn down
Membership has its benefits.
It absolutely does. There's no question. So Team Adams is going to have some work to do this end to clean this mess up, because this is a right mess. Now two buried in the forefoot. Here's second of this end. Looking to make the double peel. Was he playing the run back? I can't really tell. Looks like a run back. Oh. Once again, hard luck.
Yeah, you got rid of one. You left another guard. You open up the forefoot a bit, but with all those guards now, the draw's pretty tough.
Yeah, the top
just
of
a little bad luck.
The top of the forefoot's open, but they're about to close it up again, and then you're going to be looking at 3 buried opposition stones. Without. The only good thing is that Team Adams does have the hammer, but they're going to have to put in some work, really, just to score this end the way this is going. Sweeper's not laying a broom to this, really.
Yeah, a little cleaning early, but nothing after that.
No. This slides behind the tee. Well, sits right on the tee. Let's see if Team Adams maybe switches gears here. They may have to follow that. Maybe just try and tap it back.
Yeah, right. Just back 4, create a little basket for you.
Yeah. I mean, you're in the thirds rocks now. You could still set up a deuce, but they're gonna stick with the hits. Gonna stick with the run back. Not wrong.
Nope.
Whatever you make is the right call. Look out. Ooh.
Pretty fancy.
Got a little bit lucky. I think they were actually trying to hit the left one, and they just grazed it. And then stayed for shot. So, good result. Not really sure that's what they were going for. It is just behind the tee line, but it's also a full rock over buried by the nearest center guard to the broom. So, we'll see how close Dallas Burgess could get to this freeze with his last of this 6th end. It's going to need to finish quite a bit past the guard. I mean, you don't necessarily need to get to right to the front of that yellow, dead in front of it, once you get in there for shot. Turn it in a little bit. Pretty good. Tough to tell who shot, actually. It's in a good position for Team McDonald no matter what. There's really not a whole lot Team Adams can do except play this run back again. They just got to open things up. This has a steal written all over it right now. A steal for Team McDonald at this point in the game would be pretty big. Run back. Clears it completely out.
But gets a little unlucky.
Again.
Yeah. I mean, great shot until it wasn't.
Yeah, it's like... Yeah, I mean, clearing out the forefoot like that was exactly what they wanted, but then rolling to where they did and not staying shot.
Just a little bad luck.
Again, a little bad luck. Just kind of snake bit a little bit on that one.
I mean, that could have easily just stayed, biting the forefoot, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think it would really change what Team McDonald does here. They're still drawing, but still, it would be nice to at least be shot.
Right, because then if they make a good draw here, they're only sitting 1 versus 2.
Exactly, yeah. The nice thing for Team Adams is those stones up front are all theirs. They're going to have options. They're going to have run back options, tap options. There'll be something, just nothing easy, but at least they'll have something to work with. Let's see where this first stone from Jordan McDonald goes. It's by the guard.
This looks like it's got a little pace on it.
Yeah, it needs to settle. Oh boy, that's an unforced error, as you like to say. Couldn't afford to slide that behind the tee line.
Yeah, I think top 8's better than, back 4 even, right?
Top 12 is better than back 4 or back 8 for sure. Anywhere in the way of this draw, because now
I kind of let him off the hook.
Now it definitely did. I mean, not only was it a miss, you just showed him the line. Now from really nothing, most of this end, Cole Adams is one good draw here away from maybe setting up 2.
The old skips deuce. We talked about the junior deuce. Now we got the skips deuce.
Yep. This would be a heck of a time to get that skips deuce. 6th end. Big shot here, Cole Adams. Down 1 with the hammer, 6th end, this 8-end game. Going to make a good draw here. Set up a score of 2. Going hard to curl. Oh, this is strong again. Oh man, that's a missed opportunity. Huge missed opportunity.
We're in the 6th end. The pace really shouldn't be catching them off guard, right?
You would think. I mean,
and plus it's the 3rd game of the pool play.
Yes, for these teams, yes, it is. Yeah, they both played 2 games. Yeah, there's really not a lot of justification for, you're just drawing. You're drawing the 4-foot, and there's really no justification for throwing. I mean, that clunked that red pretty good. That was nearly back line. That was just an overthrow.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, we've been there, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, but, oh, man, he could really be kicking himself.
Yeah. We could be looking at another scenario we haven't really discussed.
What's that?
A textbook force. You can laugh, Sean. You can let it out.
Yes, we could be looking at a textbook force. By not a whole lot.
Yeah, great.
Oh man,
right?
Plays this good.
How good is that?
That's pretty tough to beat. That is completely lost under the guards, and oh man, I don't know what Adams has to. I don't see a draw to score.
I mean, I think the best is you come down to it to force him to 1.
Follow him and give up the steal of 1.
Yeah, live to fight another day.
Even doing that down 2 with 2 ends left is
any
not
run
great,
back.
but
Any run back at this point.
Oh, I don't think you're playing a run back.
Right, that's 2. That brings a better chance of 2 into play.
Yeah. I mean, if you're doing anything with those high stones, all you're doing is playing like a tap. I think.
And by how little they cleared that guard, I mean,
taps are certainly never easy. I mean, I think he actually wants to play a run on this long one. Oh boy. This is tough. This is all or nothing, really.
I'm not going to lie. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I mean...
I hope he makes it.
Absolutely. I mean,
we're all about seeing these good shots.
Yep. And, this is the kind of event with the players at the level that can make shots like this. This is why we watch, so... Pretty big shot, pretty tough shot. Cole Adams, last rock 6th end, trying to drive this guard straight back and stick it there. Try and score as one. Oh, over curls. Oh. And that's a steal of two at least. I believe it's just two. Yeah. Yeah, that yellow over there's third shot, so. So big steal of two. First steal of this game for Jordan McDonald. That now gives them a 6-3 lead. 2 ends remaining. That's a significant advantage with only 2 ends left. The teams just kind of tossed the advantage back and forth a little bit with the last few stones. A couple of heavy draws there really dictated the conclusion of that end. So now with a 3-point lead, it's going to be all about defense for Team McDonald. They're just going to seek to limit stones in play, limit scoring. Obviously, they would love to force Team Adams to a single this end. But even if Adams gets 2, they'll be okay. McDonald will be okay with that too, because they'll still have the lead in the hammer in the last end. For all you leads out there, any event you're playing, your team has this kind of a lead near the end of the game. It is critical that your stones be in the rings, even if it's deep. The last thing you want to do is throw a guard in this scenario as the team with a 3-point lead. Make sure that stone is in the house. Of course, for Team Adams, the inverse is true. They got to go hard on offense. They got to throw guards. They got to throw draws. They really got to get 2 in a bad way this end. They probably got to push fairly hard to try and get 3. We're up to 83 currently watching on YouTube. Thanks for joining us, everybody. This is Sean Murray and broadcast mate Eric Kowal is out updating scores. I'll be back in a minute. But this is the 7th end. Game between Jordan McDonald, Cole Adams, Ed Werenich Golden Wrench Classic from the Coyotes Curling Club, Tempe, Arizona. 6th end was definitely a very key end. Huge steal of 2 for Team McDonald. Adams had a really tough shot on his last. He tried a long run back and it just overcurled. But both the teams kind of threw back and forth the advantage. There's some heavy draws by both teams. But it worked out to Team McDonald's advantage. And now Team Adams going to have to go hard on the offense. Team McDonald sitting at 0-2 in this event, needing to win this game to keep the playoffs within sight. Cole Adams at 2-0 this event so far. Win would solidify, would get them much closer to the playoffs. You can absorb 1 loss without too much concern here. This event is pool play, pools of 6. You play everyone in your pool, so 5 games before the playoffs. So 1 loss, you're still in the playoffs. 2 is where it starts to get dicey. Team Adams throwing 2 corner guards. They need guards all over the place. They're going to need to start getting stones in the house as well. Team McDonald can't peel anything yet with that free guard zone. But they'll be able to on the next one, so it's going to be critical for Team Adams to start establishing rocks at scoring positions, or at least difficult to remove positions. So the Adams second, Derek Boyer, about to deliver a in-turn draw, looking to kind of freeze up to that red stone that's mostly buried on the right of the screen. Trying to drag this there. It gets in front, but settles down for third shot at best. Hard to tell if it even is third shot, but it's not changing Team McDonald's thought process now. With this 3-point lead, as soon as they're able, they're going to start clearing guards, and Jordan practically hustles up there to have Elias Humanicki make the peel on this first one, and goes by. And Eric, he just came back as we just had a flashed peel by Jordan McDonald, and they actually jammed an Adams rock mostly buried under the guard, so a little bit of a mistake there.
Yeah, given the scoreboard, you're playing it safe, and been there.
Yep, all big time. There. All absolutely. So having been given that little gift there, Cole Adams thinking, all right, how can I capitalize on this? He could establish a second rock in there, which is not wrong. Not really certain who shot, but that's not really consequential at the moment anyways. Looks like they're going to bring another one into the rings underneath that longer guard, this time on the left. Keep their stones spread apart. It's pretty good. Gets in there for shot stone. Doesn't quite get buried. It might be half under that long guard. That didn't really finish a lot past the guard.
No, it didn't, especially for as high as that guard is.
Yeah.
Right?
That guard's only a couple feet over the hog line.
But it's funny. We play on this ice a couple times a week. And again, club curling versus a cash spiel team. And the rotation they throw and how they manage to keep the stones in general straighter with their rotation versus a lot of people, right?
Yes.
For the average club curler, that probably ends up overburied.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah, you let it go and it rotates twice, it probably comes out the other side. Yeah, that's definitely a difference. So Team McDonald looks like they're trying to chase the mostly buried stone on the right. No mistake. Well done. And with Team Adams third, Jeremy Hardy about to deliver his first, there's taking some time to talk about this shot. Looks like they're hitting the stone that was just delivered, and you can't quite see all of. This feels like a really tough shot. If this overcurls it all and hits the high red, it could drive it onto their own.
And I think that's what the concern was, right? That's the discussion probably that they had going into this call.
This needs to get by the corner guard. Oh dear. I don't know. That seemed like a really, really hard shot to me. That just really did. Again, just my unpaid, completely unprofessional opinion. But
You're right, that was very unprofessional.
Obviously.
No,
that's my middle name.
It was a tough shot, right? There was a narrow window. It's somewhat buried on the opposite side of where the guard was.
Yeah. And also, you're essentially trying to go through a port there between the guard and the top 8 stone, and that's one where the port is actually angled the wrong way. So it's because the stone is curling against the natural opening of the port. It's actually tougher to get through than it looks like. It's tighter than it is. So, I don't know. So now Team McDonald just going to try and take a free pass at getting rid of this lone yellow that's in the rings. And again, this is just not finishing. They don't throw a lot of weight at it, but they get a really good result.
Really good.
They didn't remove it, but pushed it to second and spun their own to shot stone behind those staggered reds. So sneaky good result on that, actually.
Yeah, right? Because even if they get rid of both these reds, red then just hits that yellow.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with the force at this point. You're up 3.
Absolutely. Oh, force would be beautiful.
Right?
So now, really in some heat. Adams talking about how in the world you ever make 2 out of this. I almost wonder if it's worth just I think that's Derek Boyer on the left talking about just hitting and rolling off of the top one and letting it jam on the second one, leaving the 2 reds staggered but rolling it behind the guard and getting 2 yellows under that long corner guard.
Right? I like the idea.
Yeah.
And then whatever you do in the next one, the run back's probably pretty short or whatever.
Yeah. Maybe you have a double of some kind.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you have to try and manufacture something, right?
Exactly.
It's not going to be given to you.
No. Yeah, you have to manufacture something, and, you probably are going to need some kind of a half shot from the opponent.
A half shot from them and some creativity from you.
Yes, exactly.
And I think that's that little almost chip and roll is the creative part of it, right? Mm-hmm. Like you're just kind of ignoring the rest, which seems counterintuitive.
But down 3, you gotta really dig deep into the top hat sometimes to find the right trick.
I might steal that from you.
Go right ahead.
I've got a plethora of idioms, but I don't know that I have many top hat ones.
I admit, I just now came up with that. That just came from nowhere.
Let's make sure we delete the broadcast so there's no way to evidence me stealing it.
Yeah. Well, that's too late. Like they were trying to hit this top one, but going hard for curl. So not throwing a lot of weight. Doesn't get rid of either red, but moves them around. Yellow now sitting 2nd and 5th. Red is 1st, 3rd, 4th, and I guess we'll say 6th because they are 6th. You look at this and you could say, well, why doesn't McDonald just go after that yellow second shot? It's behind that guard, but that guard's so long. Well, we've already seen a couple of times this, and the Stones are just not really finishing on that line. Like, they won't miss the guard by much, but it'll just stay there. They're not really cutting all that hard, so they're not really sure that it's you could hit that. You could just throw like a draw and just through there and just kind of sit in front of it. You don't necessarily need to remove it.
I don't know. I like what you're saying. I mean, not... Yeah.
Yeah. Or you could, you could play that shot either way, really, right? You could come at it from either turn. Now they may not know what the in-turn path does, so who knows how you ice it over there.
Checking the current metrics, we are down 1 viewer to 76, but we are up to 3 likes.
Oh well, there we go. I should point out that I checked while you were on a moment ago, and we were actually up to 83 at one point.
Oh, sorry, I came back.
Yeah, it's your fault. Taking a quick look around at the scores from the other games, Elliot Mansell now has a 4-3 lead with Hammer over Yasmin Gibbo playing the 7th end. Sam Muibrick has a 5-4 lead over Jordan Peters. And the Shinya Abe Chase Sinnott game ended after 5. That was a 7-1 win for Abe.
The boys from Japan are on a roll.
Oh, yes. That's a super solid team.
I remember... So, good story about when they... Oh, hold on. We'll come back to the story from a few years ago.
Okay. That game was highlighted by a score of 5 in the 4th end by Abe.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're just playing the guard.
Which I like.
I do like this a lot. I think this late in the end, that's definitely a sensible call.
So, the boys from Japan were here a few years ago, and their brooms got lost in flight with the airlines.
Okay.
So they played all weekend with borrowed brooms from club members and whatnot. They go to check out of their hotel at the end of the event, and the person at the counter says, "Oh, there's been a bag here for you for the last 3 days."
Oh, jeez. So their brooms arrived and they didn't even know it?
They had no clue.
Oh.
They don't know if they'd ever went back to the counter and checked, or if the desk never brought them to them or whatever, but apparently their brooms arrived like an hour or two after they did, and they didn't have them all weekend.
Oh,
yeah.
Good Lord. That's really funny.
They did well that weekend, too, if I remember right. I'm pretty sure they qualified for the playoffs that year.
Oh, that's a super, super solid team. Now, with that guard in the way, Cole talking about what can they possibly do to somehow squeeze a 2 out of this, or at this point, he'd squeeze a score out of this.
Right, like you got to do more than just bite the white at this point.
Well, you got to set something up, and again, we talked about you're going to need some kind of a half shot from Team McDonald, and they haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah.
And if they don't get it, I'm not really sure they're going to have a pass at a 2-less end. I wonder if it's worth considering trying to come down and maybe split that 8, that yellow that's in the just half top 8 foot. Try and split it, roll to one side, and get your other one. Oh, the high guard.
The high guard, you're
okay.
right. No, I was looking at it too, because I was thinking you got a chance to come at it either way. They can't take them both away, but you've already taken one away yourself.
Yeah.
Right? I'm with you.
Didn't even see that high guard there. So.
Yeah, well, but it's funny. How often does like a 1 guard early in the end come into play later?
Oh, it does. They definitely do. And the thing is that they're nuisances.
That's exactly it.
They're not a stone that you can ever really waste a rock dealing with, but they always become a problem.
Yep. Yeah, the real estate they take up either takes away a draw path or, it's always something.
Yeah. Looks like Adams is opting to take on a bit of a hero shot here. He's going to be trying to play the angle run on this corner. This Yellowstone that's off the side.
I'd be curious to know if this was like, for example, the third end. Would they choose this same shot? Don't know, right?
Yeah, no, it's worth considering. Yeah, and also, not just that, but what if the score was tighter?
Right.
What if it wasn't a 3-point deficit?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because you have to do something at this point. You got to manufacture, like we were talking about.
You do, yeah. I mean, it is there.
Oh, it's totally there.
You've got room to stick this and sit too. It's there. It's obviously very tough.
Yeah.
I hit this way too far. So, he's probably not going to have much to look at on his last one, the way this is going. I don't know. I think now you're probably looking at for McDonald his last one. Like now maybe this in-turn draw, just come down and sit in front of that yellow. You know what you could do? He can see all of this this red that's currently third shot. He could just hit it on the nose. It'll come off of his own and get rid of the yellow too. You could do that.
I think that's exactly what they're talking about now, right?
Yeah.
Like, great minds, come up with the same idea at the same time.
I mean, that's probably the easiest shot. They haven't thrown this side all that much, so he might not really know the line for the draw. The hit might be a little bit of an easier call on a fresh path. But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a hole between the red and the yellow back there, so you just make contact. You're going to get that yellow's going. I mean, this is mostly just about taking the chance for 2 away.
Yep.
Because, I mean, there's still like a long run on that center for 2, but even if for some reason this isn't made, it's going to be a tough shot to score.
If you make that double and that top red rolls off the yellow and up a little or just straight behind.
Yeah. Ugh.
Then that scoring. I mean, the scoring zone's already small, right?
It's almost nothing.
Oof.
Yeah, you're hard pressed to do anything at that point if you're Adams. Not throwing a bunch of weight at this.
You don't need to.
No.
Right?
No.
I like the weight call.
They may just be rolling off of that red, perhaps.
Which also works, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. There's multiple ways. Well, this is actually going to hit the yellow straight up.
Okay.
Look at that.
Or bad.
So they had that spot red. Now it's just heavy draw. So now it looks to me like McDonald is sitting 4.
I agree.
So now it's just about, can we score one? And I think there is a way to score one. You got to hit and roll off these stones on the left, though.
I think you almost play that same double like we talked about.
Yeah. You'll spin in somewhere. You got all kinds of catchers. You could actually, if you hit the inside of the third shot and kind of spin off the top of the second shot and into the side of first shot, you can touch them all and score one that way. I'll be the first to admit I'm not really sure what they're looking at here. Maybe he thinks this is an easier way to score. Is he playing a run on this high guard?
I think so. And,
Wow.
earlier in the game, second end, first end, you talked a little bit about tolerance.
Yeah.
I think that kind of double roll-up has more tolerance than this does.
I feel like that's a way easier shot than this. I don't... Well, it doesn't work out. That's going to go in the books as a steal of 2. And that's going to be handshakes. That's going to go down as an 8-3 win. Jordan McDonald gets their first win of the event. And hands Cole Adams their first loss of the event. And that's going to do it for our broadcast of this draw. Eric, thanks for joining me.
Yeah. See you again in about a half hour.
Absolutely. And we hope to see all of you for the 8 p.m. Mountain Time draw of the Ed Werenich Classic from the Coyotes Curling Club in Tempe, Arizona. See you later, everybody.